Motif set number 6, Charlotte. This is the Valentine's set, and it's one of my favorite sets. I love it, and it's just, they're fun little motifs to do. So here's the first one, number 76, I think. Yep, the heart wreath. This is one that is just embroidered instead of appliqued and then embellished, but it's very fun and easy to do. Lazy daisies and French knots and outline stitch or stem stitch is all that you need to do this one. I'm going to show you in a separate tutorial how to get lines accurately onto your background, because there's several in this set that you'll want to do that. This next one is number 77, and this is the wedding day. This is actually my sister's block that she did. I couldn't find mine for some reason, but this writing on here is a little bit intimidating sometimes to freehand, and so the press and seal method that I will show you will help you to get that done. But look how cute these are, these hearts with the bullions around them. And then this is an outline stitch. The next motif is number 78, and this one is the little mouse. We have a couple of those to show you. He's bringing a little flower to his sweetie, and this is just a really fun little motif. He's got lots of character. Lazy daisies, stem stitch, just a whip stitch to applique, straight stitches for his whiskers, French knot eye, and his mouse is just, his nose, sorry, is just little straight stitches also. I did little satin stitch along the cuffs and the collar of the sweater, and this one has chain stitch and then some little buttons that are French knots. The next one is, let's see, the lovebirds. And this one, I just can't find any of my Valentine ones. So anyway, we'll show someone else's. But this one is a very easy one also. The two lovebirds and then a heart in the middle. Next motif is the floral heart. And this has a heart appliqued down in the background, and then these little pink flowers are cut out of wool and then appliqued on, and then these flowers are lazy daisies and French knots. So that just gives you the shape of a little heart on there. The next one is called Candy Hearts, and this is so cute. This is a running stitch with French knots around the outside to outline them, and then straight stitches in here for the lettering. Kiss me, love you, be mine. I think that those are really cute. The next one is the open heart wreath. This one has a little bit of a Holland flair to it, but chain stitches, just applique. This is pistol stitch out here. Next motif is the Valentine, and I don't, let's see, I think that one might be in the quilt already. Yep. Here it is. This is a super cute motif, I think. And you could, this is just satin stitched in for the arrow, but you could applique a wool down there also, or just leave off the arrow if you wanted. Looks like a little box of chocolates, a little treat inside. The next one is Love Note, and this is a very simple motif, and I love how the little hearts in the background are just two lazy daisies right next to each other. I don't think I have a Tree of Life motif, but that one you could applique down the stem. I'll show you this right here. You could applique down the trunk and just put heat and bond behind it to help reinforce, and then just continue out with embroidery after you get the skinny little limbs on. Or you could embroider the whole trunk by doing straight stitches just right next to each other to fill in, you know, do a couple and then down to one to make it thicker. And you could punch these little circles out of wool with a hole punch if you wanted. There again, back it with heat and bond to add extra stability behind. The next one is the raspberries, and I thought that I had a couple of those, but can't seem to find that either. My motifs have been disappearing. Anyway, I take them too many places, I guess. But this one would be so fun to do some embellishing on. I love the satin stitch, little tops of the berries. And then it'd be really fun to add some big, giant French knots. You could use a thread like a gimp or something that's very thick and cordy, a cord instead of a thread, to make some big round French knots. Would be fun. The next one is one of my favorite flowers, the hollyhocks. And I made little dolls out of hollyhock blossoms when I was a little girl, and I love hollyhocks. And this is just delightful to use lots of different pinks and reds and layer them and cut them into just little weird shapes, just like they're drawn. It won't matter if they're very accurate or not. The next one is the bleeding hearts. And here's a couple. This one needs to be finished. There's no white down here, and it needs some white. This one hasn't had any embellishing done, just to show you that there's pink or red in the bleeding hearts. And I think that that's a cute motif. Next is the Spool of Posies, and this is what I put on the outside of my my stitch notebook. But this one is awfully cute to put into the quilt, and I love how the little stitches around here are just so fun and easy. This yellow is a pistol stitch. Lazy daisies for the blue. This is just a little V stitch or straight stitches. French knots. This is a little straight stitch, also a zigzag stitch, but it kind of goes the opposite direction as this one. This, to make the spool color, she appliqued down blue, and then she just went across it in a few spots with embroidery floss to make it look like it was wound around. And that's a cute one. The last one in this set is the bluebells. And look how cute and bright those are. These are appliqued down. The stems are just stem stitch, and her little tops of her bluebells are just little stem stitch also. She's just whip stitched on the green leaves, and then around the end of all of the bottoms of the bluebells are just rows of French knot after French knot. And that is set number 6.